What's up gamer, my name's Uluko and today I'm going to show you how to get the most out of your loot in Path of Exile 2. Drops are pretty scarce compared to the first game, so the less you waste, the better off you'll be. If you ever see a currency orb drop from a monster, like an orb of transmutation or an orb of augmentation, you'll pretty much always want to pick that kind of thing up. That part is pretty simple. What's a little more complicated is getting the most out of all the different kinds of gear that drops, like armor, weapons, or jewelry. To know what you should pick up, first you need to know what options you have available for your loot. There are 4 different things you can do with gear in town. The first and the simplest option is to sell your gear to the vendor for gold. This can be pretty useful, but you get way more gold for vendoring rare or yellow gear than anything with lower rarity, so I wouldn't bother picking up gear with lower rarity for the sake of vendoring. The second option is also available from one of the vendors in each town, and that is the Disenchanting option. Disenchanting something is pretty similar to vendoring it, but instead of gold, you get a shard of a currency orb depending on the rarity of the gear you disenchanted. If you disenchant a magic or a blue item, you get a transmutation shard. If you disenchant a rare or a yellow item, you get a regal shard. And if you disenchant a unique or orange item, you get a chance shard. Collecting 10 of each of these shards will give you 1 full orb that you can use to do different things to your other gear. Also, you cannot disenchant common or white gear. Personally, I like to pick up all rare or unique gear that I find, and if I have something specific I need gold for, I'll vendor it, but if I don't, I'll disenchant it instead. After all, you can never have too many regal orbs. The third option is to use the Salvage Bench. In Act 1, Renly will give you a quest called Finding the Forge, where, as you may have guessed, you have to go find his old forge because he wants the forging tools he left there. If you grab them and bring them back, that will unlock the Salvage Bench in every town for the rest of the game. You can use it to break down any piece of gear that has quality or rune sockets on it. So if you see that a piece of gear is called superior, or that it has this little dot on the end of its name, then it can be broken down at the Salvage Bench. If the gear has quality on it, you'll get a currency that lets you raise the quality on similar pieces of gear. If the gear has 1 or more sockets on it, you'll get Artificer shards which turn into orbs that let you then add sockets to other pieces of gear. If one piece of gear has both quality and sockets, you'll get both kinds of currency. Quality and sockets are both very helpful things to have on the gear you're wearing, so it's good to have lots of those kinds of currency on hand. If you see gear drop with quality or sockets on it, I highly recommend that you pick it up and take it to the Salvage Bench. The fourth and final option is to use the Reforging Bench. In Act 3, Oswald will give you a quest called Treasures of Utsal that requires you to go investigate this place called the Molten Vault. When you complete this quest, the Reforging Bench will show up in every town for the rest of the game. You can use it to combine 3 different copies of the same kind of item into one new one. It's very useful and there's all kinds of things that you can combine with it, but if you shove 3 pieces of the same kind of gear into it and they all have the same rarity, you'll get a new piece of that same gear in the same rarity with completely rerolled modifiers. So if you're looking for a specific kind of gear to upgrade your character, like these expert forlorn crossbows I've been piling up for myself, and you find a bunch of copies of it but none of them rolled well, you can throw them all in the Reforging Bench and hope the new one comes out with better modifiers. It's not particularly likely to come out good, but making more attempts at improving your gear is never a bad thing. Whether you decide to vendor, disenchant, salvage, or reforge your loot, I hope this helps you make the most of all of the items that you find. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you found this guide helpful, then don't forget to like and subscribe for more like it. Lastly, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.